Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. So today I wanted to bring you guys a series that I was used to do in the past, back before my channel became as big as it is now. So for those of you guys who were not back here back in February, this is the Blast from the Past series. So this is a series that I like to do during the reveal season of Legends of Runeterra, where everybody's just excited about the new reveals and nobody really cares about seeing decks on the current meta. So instead, I want to just have some fun and bring you guys a deck from the previous meta. So that's where the Blast from the Past comes from, where we just take exactly the same deck list from back then, play it in a few ranked games, see how it goes, and then later towards the video, we'll actually take the list, try to update it to fit today's meta, and then play a couple games there as well. So the list that I'm bringing you guys today from Blast to the Past is all the way from the very beginning of the game. So this is going to be Hecarim Elise Fearsome. Fun fact, this exact list that you see right here is the very first list that took me to Masters. So when I reached Masters back in February 2020, it was using this list 2 years ago already. Now, why was this list so good back in beta? Is because a lot of the cards that you see here were actually very strong and ended up getting nerfed, and you did not have a lot of like combat tricks to be able to buff up units, etc. So Fearsomes ended up being really good. So let's quickly go through the deck list and let me just tell you how many cards got nerfed. So just so you get an idea, Mark of the Isles used to be +3/+3, meaning that combined with Hecarim, you could put this on one of just ephemeral riders, and you can push an additional 3 damage. So it's almost like a decimate for just 1 mana, you know? Arachnoid Horror is fine. Elise, still the same. Glimpse Beyond is still the same. Mist Wraith, still fine. Aphelios Fizz used to be pretty good because it was one of the few ways that you could like remove opponents' units, especially because back then you had a lot of elusives running around. So this will hit stuff like the Green Glade Duo, right? As well as give you a blocker and potentially be able to level up Elise because you are playing Arachnoid Horror and the Skittler. Black Spear. Black Spear used to be 2 mana. It used to deal 4, but it used to be 2 mana. So you used to be able to enable this with your Fearsome units or with your Spiderlings dying, and then be able to just kill almost anything in the game for just 2 mana. Francis Skittler used to be a 3/3. So the Skittler used to have 3 health. And it used to just be able to just push a lot of damage, right? Because the ability used to be the same. It will allow your Fearsomes to get through. Back then, I used to play 2 Redeemers because this deck did not have a lot of draws, so you could reliably try to draw one of your units. Critical Ruin was there to combo with the Wraithcaller because this deck is kind of like a mix of like Wraithcaller, like of Mist Wraith plus Spiders plus Hecarim as a tailpen. The idea was just that you were putting so much pressure on the opponent with your Fearsome and being able to go really wide that the opponent had no way to really stop it and you'd be able to just push lethal. And the reason that this used to be so good with the Wraithcaller is because the Wraithcaller used to have Fearsome. You hear that right. Not only did it summon a Mist Wraith that had Fearsome, but the Wraithcaller itself also had Fearsome. So you had a 4/3 Fearsome that could potentially summon like a 3/2 or a 4/2 or 5/2 Mist Wraith, which was actually super nutty. Relentless Pursuit used to be 3 mana. So rallies back then used to be 3 mana, and it actually used to be fast speed as well. It wasn't slow. Relentless Pursuit was a fast speed 3-cost rally. Can you imagine that in the current meta? Radiant Guardian was just there to kind of give us some health. It used to be pretty good in the mirror because it could block a lot of the fearsome attackers while also being able to survive, right? And healing you up. Radiant Guardian also used to be a 5/5, so you used to have 5 health, so you were able to heal up a lot of damage. Hecarim was a menace and was the best champion in beta. So Hecarim used to summon your Spectral Riders, used to have 3 attack. So they used to have 3 attack, which means that you used to just get so much value with Hecarim because you used to summon 3 attack Spectral Riders and just push so much damage on the opponent. It used to be freaking nutty because you used to spread out your stats over like 3 bodies and just have so much pressure. Opponent had no way to kind of block everything without sacrificing their own units because you didn't have a lot of blockers that had 3 health or more. And then Rekindler also got nerfed. It used to be 6 mana. Not like it matters, because obviously with Kindred, the best target for the Kindred was always Hecarim. So even though it was 6 mana, you know, I guess it's nice because it meant that it cost 1 less mana, so you could combo out later in later turns. But it wasn't that big of a deal because you're always playing Hecarim on turns. You're always playing her Kindler on turn 7 or later, anyways. You can kind of see just how many nerfs this deck got. And back then, it was deserved because this deck was a menace, and it was the strongest deck in the first, I want to say, month and a half of Legends of Runeterra existent, and it had to receive a lot of nerfs to be able to tone it down. So yeah, so today we're gonna showcase. I'm gonna take this exact same deck list, and I'm gonna take it to 3 ranked games, and just gonna play it out, see how it goes. Right? Again, just using cards that are being nerfed for like 2 years. And then after those 3 games, we'll come back and try to rebuild this deck together to see how it does, to kind of update it for the current meta. And then we'll play like a couple games with that updated deck list, and then we'll finish up the game. We'll finish up the video there. As always, if you like the content, please make sure to subscribe below. We post LOR videos every single day. And let me know your thoughts about this Blast to the Past series, and if there's any old decks for the past from a year or 2 ago that you want to be able to see for us to showcase during this rebuild season. Anyways, enjoy the 3 games, and I'll see you all again when we rebuild this deck a little bit. So in this matchup, we're going to be going up against Ezreal GP TF. Okay, so this opponent's going to have a lot of removal, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm trying to see if I can get early units. The Kindred is not great unless we have Hecarim. I guess it's not a dead draw because we have the Elise. The Mist Rift is gonna just die to Mystic Shot. So I don't know how good it is. I'm gonna start with Elise first. I will do the Mist Rift now anyways. And let's just open. Because the Mist Rift is gonna die to a Mystic Shot. By opening attacking, we play around like the Station Archivist. Right? Which could be a punish. Okay, he's just gonna do Ezreal. I want the opponent to kill these guys. If the opponent can kill these guys, then the Black Spear is gonna punish the Ezreal, which is pretty good for us. Let's keep mana for double glimpse. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna glimpse this Mystic Shot. And then I'm going to have the Black Spear enabled to be able to kill the Ezreal. Your opponent doesn't do anything, we just get to push 4 more damage next turn, and the opponent loses the free Mystic Shot. So he's going to go after Elise? Interesting. I don't mind the opponent losing their Mystic Shot here. Okay, so now I'm going to summon the Mist Wraith. Let's see if he has a Mystic right here. Oh, he got our Spider. Okay, he got our Spider, which is a little bit unfortunate. This will enable the Radiant Guardian here, no matter which unit dies. So this will enable the Radiant Guardian, while also giving us the mana for the Black Spear. I wonder if the opponent's going to try to kill this Elise or if he's just going to take the 5. I think it's more important. Unfortunately, I mean, actually, maybe we need to glimpse. Maybe the Radiant Guardian is too greedy. We need to glimpse, I think. Because if we summon the Radiant Guardian, we're not going to have any other great target for glimpse. Which is a problem. Right? Okay, so opponent decided that they're going to play around Mark of the Isles, which is pretty smart. We still get to push 3 damage, and we still get the glimpse. We get the Black Spear, so we can kill the Ezreal. We get the Battle Fist to hit this Merkin if we need to. Yeah, there we go. So we kill the Ezreal right now. We have access to another glimpse to be able to glimpse this miss if for some reason the opponent has like a way to remove it. And we have access to a second Black Spear. We don't need to kill the Black Merkin just yet. We do get the Hecarim, which is actually pretty nice. Opponent unfortunately gets Gangplank. We just do Hecarim here. If the opponent attacks, then his Gangplank is gonna die to a Battle Fizz. Oh, wow. He's actually gonna do it like that. I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna do this instead and keep the Battle Fizz to ping the keg if the opponent tries to do something crazy. This also protects us with 2 more damage because the GP has Overwhelm, so it doesn't get to hit that Overwhelm damage. If the opponent doesn't use their keg right now, we can just drag it with Hecarim next turn and still have pretty good value. Opponent doesn't have a way to kill Hecarim right here. They probably have Make It Rain, right? That's what they're thinking. But then the Battle Fizz is going to punish this. Oh, they're just going to do it this way. If that's the case, let's just do this. Let's just get rid of all his blockers, and then next turn we just push the damage. So opponent's going to have double Mystic Shot to be able to kill this Hecarim. Otherwise, he's going to get hit by 5, 6. And regardless, even if the opponent is able to kill the Hecarim, we still push the 2 damage from the Ephemerals. So opponent's taking 10 damage right here. The Ephemerals are also going to trigger the Radiant Guardian, by the way. So we get the Radiant Guardian for free, no matter what. And once the opponent can kill the Hecarim, it enables our Rekindler to be able to summon Hecarim back in. Man, imagine if these guys were 3-2s. So Hecarim back in the beta, this Spectre Riders used to be, actually they used to be 3-1s. Yeah, they used to be 3-1s if I remember correctly, or 3-2s, I forgot. But they had 3 attack. So you put a lot more pressure here, because the opponent would now be at 2 HP, right? Wow. He just discarded 2 key cards for himself. Wow. He's desperate. He's desperate to be able to kill this Hecarim. And not only that, yeah, like, this deck has received so many nerfs, right? Black Spear. I guess Black Spear used to be 2 mana. Radiant Guardian used to have 5 attack, right? Line them up, and this is when the Battle Fizz comes clutch. Because even when they line them up, we can still just Battle Fizz to stop anything that the opponent might do here. Yeah. And then we just do this. And we still have to push the damage through. And then we just play Radiant Guardian, and now we have a blocker for whatever the opponent does next turn. And if the opponent kills the Hecarim, we just summon Rekindler and summon him back in. So the Ephemerals mean that the Radiant Guardian was enabled. If the opponent kills this Hecarim, we have Rekindler. So we summon another Hecarim, and then we just, I guess, win the game. The only problem here is that we won't be able to do like Glimpse and Rekindler. So we're going to have to let the Hecarim die for free. But the opponent has to kill Hecarim right now, because otherwise we just get to summon 2 more Spectral Riders next turn and be able to push the lethal damage. So what's going to be your spell of choice? If it's Mystic, it's a little bit awkward, because if we summon the Rekindler, the Hecarim can still die. Okay, well, that's game then. So that's game, because we can just do Rekindler here. And now the opponent doesn't have enough mana to be able to kill this Hecarim. And next turn we just open attack with 4 units, including the Spider. Summon 2 Spectral Riders, and we're going to have a full board of attackers. We have 3 units that have 4 attack or more. And we even have the Mark of the Owls if we need to, as a way to push the last piece of damage. There you go. GG. It's funny how this deck can still kind of show some kind of pressure. But that's just really because of Hecarim combo with Rekindler. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Mono Shurima. This is interesting. We have a lot of bad cards in this deck. That probably means that we have a bad time against Mono Shurima. I don't mind the Battle Fizz against the Rockhopper, but I think it's a little bit greedy to keep it based on how our hand looks like. This is gonna be interesting. Radiant Guardians is not gonna do much. Radiant Guardians is not gonna do much. Oh wow. This is certainly a hand. I guess it had to be the Battle Fizz, right? It had to be us keeping the Battle Fizz for us to have a chance. We can try to do the Skittler here and try to push the 3 damage. Sure. Even if the opponent has the devout, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay giving him this. I'm okay giving them the block here. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna do the Wraith Caller. I just think it was important to get rid of the Rolling Sands and just start like kind of working on other value here. So what do you have? Okay, Unravel Earth. That's kind of annoying. I have to hope that the opponent doesn't pull the Wraith Caller. Why attack? I don't agree with that attack. So that attack is so bad in my opinion because opponent had the value of stopping me from developing. Because if I develop, he can just pull with the Rock Hopper. So now he doesn't get to pull anything, and now we just get to have a bunch of more units on the field next turn. Unless we miss the Allegiance. Okay, we don't miss the Allegiance. So now he gets hit by a big chunk, unless the opponent has the Desert Naturalist. If they have the Desert Naturalist, that would be the annoying part here. Our hand is really low value though. Why not kill this instead? That gives you a unit. I'm kind of confused at everything that the opponent is doing right now. Like, actually completely confused at everything that they're doing. I'm gonna keep this back for now. I'm gonna keep this back so that we can kill, because like this guy's just gonna pull. Okay, so he's gonna pull here, get this guy right now. So I literally had another blocker. We get a little bit more value here, but I think it might be better to do the Radiant Guardian at this point. Okay, well I guess not. Now let's just do it. Let's just do it right now. I think it's worse if we just pass and do nothing. So unfortunately, I think we just gotta do it this way. We only have 3 attackers, so opponent still has 2 blockers. We can attack with everything. Opponent really has 2 champions. Opponent has 1 champion at least. That's probably already leveled up. So this is not gonna do anything for us. We can try to do the Radiant Guardian. Have the Black Spear to be able to tag what? He doesn't even kill the Seraph because the Seraph's already leveled up. Opponent gets another blocker on our next attack. We can do the Redeemer, and he doesn't really do much. And if the opponent has a Seer, they just win the game. Really awkward because we ended up getting Kindred, but not getting our Hecarim or our Elise to be able to take advantage of it. Let's just be mana efficient now. Let's just kill the Soothsayer right now, I guess. Just so the opponent has 1 less blocker for us to worry about. We might be able to sneak in a lethal with the Mark of the Owls, but if the opponent has a Seer, we just lose. And they always do. They always do. And he also means that the Redeemer and the other card are never gonna do anything, right? So let's just surrender. Like, it's a weird situation. We just have too many spells. Like back then the spells were good, but now it's like you have too many spells and not enough units. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Aphelios Fizz. Aphelios is really annoying. I like keeping the Hecarim. I don't think Mark of the Owls is necessary just yet. Radiant Guardian is once again kind of like a dead draw in this meta. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. Not sure how I feel about it. Let's see. Because, I mean, we can do Elise and the Miss Wraith are both pretty good. Elise especially is kind of nice because opponent doesn't have a lot of fearsome blockers, right? So Elise ends up being able to put a lot of damage in. We have... I'm going to do the Mark of the Owls on this. If the opponent blocks with the Liberian... Okay, I was going to say, if you block with the Liberian, I'm always doing Mark of the Owls on it. Just to kill it before the opponent is able to get the value from a Rainbow Fish on this Liberian. Now, opponent did not start with the Gleaming Lantern. So opponent not having Gleaming Lantern is pretty huge for us. Sure. We can just chump block with the spider, so I'm not too concerned about this. Like, you get to attack and then what? Yeah, I was gonna say, we just get to chump block with the spider. We're just gonna go ahead and do the Wraith Caller. I'm gonna go wide instead of doing the Francis Kittler, because by going wide, the opponent's gonna have a much harder time dealing with us. We're attacking 6 wide right here, while still having Mark of the Owls to be able to kill the Liberian. So what now? He's gonna actually go after the Elise. Wow. Do we do the Mark of the Owls right now? I think we do. I think I want to force the opponent to do the Pale Cascade, or like if they have Pale Cascade, or they have something like, I don't know. Oh wow, they don't have it. That's huge. So we just clear his whole board just like that. Wow. I'm gonna admit, I did not expect that to work this well. Opponent's down to 9 HP. We have Hecarim on the field, and we have a bunch of fearsome attackers. We might just go Francis Killer, to be honest. If opponent attacks, we can block and summon the Radiant Guardian. Opponent doesn't look like they have any body. Okay, well, they get the Aphelios. Disregard everything that I said. I think the Radiant Guardian is going to be important later on, so I don't want to do this right now. What I will do is that I'm just going to do the Hecarim. I'm going to do the Hecarim and force the opponent to have gone for the stun weapon. If they didn't go for the stun weapon, then they're going to get hit by a big Hecarim. Looks like they didn't go for it. If they try to do the Caliban right now, oh, they're digging. So if they got the so that means they're not even getting another weapon. Wow, they're not even getting another weapon here. So we can just do this. I'm even going to attack with the spider. I don't think I need to hold it back. Opponent still doesn't have any fearsome blockers aside from Aphelios. Aphelios is your only fearsome blocker, my friend. You're going to have to give it up. You're going to have to give up either Fizz, or you're going to have to give up Aphelios. Yeah, you can't get everything that you want. Opponent might be trying to like one turn kill us, but they didn't get there. We ended up putting so much pressure on them, and they were not able to swarm fast enough that they could have done nothing there. So yeah, GG's. Alright, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. As you can see, I think the deck struggles a lot now because you're no longer you no longer have that oomph, right? You no longer have just the pure raw power that Hecarim used to have to be able to push all that damage, and your fearsome units don't really have the same impact either. Another thing that I noticed is that this deck has a lot of spells. I mean, 14 is not a lot per se, but it felt like we were drawing a lot of spells that we rather not draw before, and also the Radiant Guardian just didn't feel good. Anyways, I think there's a lot of things here that did not feel good. So let's rebuild this deck slightly, while still keeping the idea of this being a fearsome Elise Hecarim core. So I don't want to change like the core of the deck, because yeah, we could just go ahead and play Lucian Hecarim and kind of accomplish the same thing and probably make a better deck. But I think that goes against the spirit of being able to update this deck for the current meta. So let's first go through the list here. I think 3 Mark of the Owls is a little bit too much. I think Black Spear is also a little bit too much. I think the Redeemer is not good enough. I think the Chronicle of Ruin is also not great. Relentless Pursuit, we probably can just do Aegis. It's a little bit better. And Radiant Guardian also doesn't make sense. It's funny because he actually got rid of the Demacia because we got rid of all the Demacia cards. Do we want this to be our core? Let's look at what we can play. Does Kalista make sense? No, I think Kalista is going to be a little bit weaker than Elise. Maybe that's actually not true. Maybe that's not true though. Fading Memories and make more ephemeral attackers. Like we can Fading Memories the Wraith Caller. Maybe that's a consideration. What else do we like here? We have to keep the Allegiance, so there's only so many Demacia cards that we can put. It's probably just going to be the Rally, to be honest. I guess let's look at that first. Let's look at the Demacia cards that we should put. There's almost nothing here that I think I'd rather put in the deck. Maybe Browin is fine. Sharpshot can be decent. But if Sharpshot was still at +2/+2, I would definitely put it in this deck. I just don't know if it's actually good enough. Oh man, how crazy is the Cataclysm with the Hecarim actually? That's actually kind of funny because he does start a free attack. But maybe that's trolling a little bit. The Grand Plaza is not great unless we go more like the Lucian type condition. We're definitely going to play the Golden Ages. Because again, we're going to try to rally to be able to kind of take advantage of the opponent. So is this everything that we play from Demacia? Just the rallies and call it a day? Maybe we go to 3 rallies. Maybe 3 rallies is actually the way to go. Alright, so let's go back to Shadow Owls. So from Shadow Owls, what do we do here? If we're trying to go for a fearsome win condition, I think the Onlooker might be a consideration, right? If we're trying to just push as much damage as possible with our fearsome units, so this deck might look more like a Spider aggro, right? Except without the Noxus portion of it. I'm going to probably go over 40 cards just so that we can first see what we have, and then we can go down on the cards that we don't want, right? Shark Chariot is a consideration. Now that the problem is that we don't really have ephemerals, right? The only ephemeral that we have is really Hecarim, so it doesn't make sense. The Sentinel doesn't make sense either. Is there really not that many cards here that make sense in this deck list? There might just not be enough cards to really make this worth it. What are we doing here? Stuck in Shadows? Stuck in Shadows doesn't seem bad, right? Because we got rid of our draw. So this will let us draw like into a fearsome, into an ephemeral Wraithcaller sometimes. Again, I don't think Chronicle is that good. Risen Myth to combine with the other Mist colors that we have, maybe. Everything else seems pretty awkward to play. Vengeance doesn't make sense. We really have 2 Rekindlers. Okay, so I think... Oh, wait, what about Harrowing? What about 1 Harrowing, just in case that we want to go late and be able to put the Harrowing to be able to win? The original decklist did not have Harrowing before, by the way, because Harrowing used to be 10 mana. So Harrowing used to be 10 mana, and it didn't used to be as good because Deny used to be 3 mana, and Harrowing used to be 10. So a lot of times your Harrowing would just get denied. So if we go this way... We definitely have way too many spells now, right? I guess the Risen Mist is really not a spell, it's more like a unit. But we definitely have to cut back on some spells here. Especially because the Stuck in Shadows has a good chance of just missing. Because he only looks at the followers, right? Maybe the Black Spear is so good. Maybe the Mark of the Isles is kind of awkward, but the Mark of the Isles can be really good because it can prevent this from dying to like a Pokestick. So I think the Black Spear is the odd spell out, right? I also don't know how I feel about this many glimpses. I think with Stuck in Shadows, we don't need the glimpses. I think with Stuck in Shadows, we don't need the glimpses. Because instead, we want to be able to keep those glimpses to be like we want to be able to keep our units, right? We still ended up with more spells than we started with. I guess technically, again, we go down to 14 because we have the Risen Miss. Maybe this is better. The Fading Memories is a little bit awkward. I don't mind the horror because again we're gonna try to still be able to have like the Spider Elise win condition as well, just to keep the core of the deck the same. I like the Fading Memories though because it can also combine with the Skittler. I think this is fine. I think I like it like this. So I think this is what I would do for the updated Hecarim Elise list if I was to play in this meta. So let's go ahead and take it for a spin. Let's do like at least 2 games and then we'll see how it goes. And then you can catch us at the end of the video where we can just kind of close things out and see how this went. But yeah, enjoy the games coming up. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Mono Shurima. So potentially have a pretty good hand here though. There's a lot of value that we can get. A lot of fearsomes. The problem is that the opponent also has a lot of fearsome blockers. Because they have the Rockhopper, they have the Debout, right? Which is really annoying because the Rockhopper and the Debout are able to stop a lot of our fearsome shenanigans. We can try to eat up the Rock Hopper with the Elise right now and bait that out that way. We do have a lot of pressure though. We have a lot of fearsome attackers. That's not a Rock Hopper. That is not a Rock Hopper. That is not what I was expecting. I will admit that. Opponent could still have... Opponent could have the bout right here. Maybe we should have summoned Elise instead, to be honest. Yeah, maybe Elise was better. So Elise was better than the Wraith because we could have blocked this and put this down to 1 HP. I do not mind giving this the Fearsome. Sorry, I don't mind giving this the Vulnerable. Now, opponent should always block Elise here, in my opinion. Opponent should always block Elise here. Because obviously, like, this is going to die later. So yeah, you always block Elise. Unfortunately for opponent, though, it means that this is going to get bigger because we're going to have the Mist Wraith. And we're also going to have the Risen Myth on top of that. That rally is looking juicy, too. Mark of the Isles. Opponent decides to open attack too. Sure. Sure, I'll take that open attack. If you want to open attack like that, be my guest. So now opponent's going to have no blockers here. Because this is what we're going to do. We're going to do the Risen Miss. Open attack. We're not going to attack with the Wraith Caller. Because we don't need to. And opponent doesn't have a blocker for this. And he's going to be taking 12. And just like that, opponent's going to be taking 12. I guess opponent could have Hourglass here. Yeah, so they're going to do the Hourglass. Cool. Next turn, I think we have to try to rally. If opponent has a second Seraph, we get really punished. Because opponent will be able to have 2 Seraphs and be able to kill the Risen Miss. Yeah, so this is the punish here. The double Seraph. Because he can like tag like that while still having the blockers for Fearsome. Craziest thing here, though, is that we can rally. If the opponent taps out of the mana for Rider Negation, we can just rally. We could also just summon the Hecarim here. Or we can do the Stalking Shadows. Do we rally here and force the opponent to have a way to stop this? Or do we Hecarim? The problem with Hecarim is that it's not really giving us any value, right? It does give us a full board attack, which is not bad, actually. I don't want to give the opponent the board space. Opponent could have the Rider of Arcane right here to kill both Miss. Because the double, that double Seraph is doing so much value here. Because now every single landmark is just going to do so much damage. Yeah, there you go. What we can try to do is that we can try to do this. This will eat up, this will keep one of the Wraiths alive. While also getting rid of one of his blockers. So now the Wraith stays alive. We still have enough mana next turn to do the rally. Opponent still doesn't really have a good blocker for the Fearsomes. Or the Wraith Caller. And we just attack like this. And this should be game, right? Opponent will have to sacrifice his Seraphs to be able to survive. And the Overwhelm is actually enough. Opponent could have Quicksand, I guess? No, that's not enough, my friend. It has to be Quicksand. And if you do the Quicksand, that means you tap out. And then we rally and we win the game. Yeah, so this is that's why I didn't want to give him the board space. And why we didn't attack with the Wraith Caller like 2 turns ago. Because opponent would just chum block, and then they would have enough space to be able to do the Rolling Sands like that. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we're going up against Elise, Kindred, Bandle City though. I think this is bad for us, because this is looking like a pure control deck. This is looking like a pure control deck. And if I'm correct that this is like a pure control deck, I don't see how we ever win. Unless we like Herald the Mist. Which we don't get. So we don't get the Mist. This is just gonna die to Pokestick and Battle Fizz. That's why I kicked the Onlooker out last turn. Like it's too easy for this to die to 2 things. So it's a Sentinel control deck that instead of using like PNC and stuff, it's using Bandle City. I'm gonna get my free 3 damage here while I have the chance. Opponent wants to burn 2 mana, be my guess. I don't think we need to get greedy just yet in the mana department. Opponent will be able to kill our unit here, which will give him the Fearsome blockers. So opponent should be able to have the bots, should be able to have like so many things here to kill our units. Oh, no, 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 man. No. No, you don't do this. So now it's going to be Skittler. I like the Skittler because even if the opponent is able to kill... Okay, well, he's just going to... He missed the allegiance. So the Skittler doesn't matter now, so maybe we just go... Maybe we just go Onlooker, to be honest. Because Skittler is not stopping anything, right? The Onlooker is a Fearsome unit. And we have Mark of the Isles to protect it against Pokestick. Wow. We can attack with everything. Opponent always wants to use this to block a Fearsome blocker. And they're going to have to sacrifice one of their Sentinels to be able to kill the Ravecaller. If opponent wanted to kill this, they needed to kill it before the attack. I guess they could have the bots, right? The bots is the big punish here. Because we went all in. So if the opponent has the bots that can punish us, they don't have it, so we just get all the pressure in the world. Next turn we can do the Golden Aegis if the opponent taps out of Ruination, and then do the Skittler as well to be able to win the game. Alright. So my fear here is going to be Ruination. If the opponent passes, we pass back and just open attack. If the opponent taps out of Ruination, we just rally. Whoo! Yeah. Yeah. Let's go like this. Let's just do the rally. This is where the value comes in. Opponent only has 6 mana. Now, they can easily just get blockers here. Okay, so they're going to get the Doom Beast. Except that now, we just do the Frenzy Skittler. And opponent has no blockers for the Fearsomes. Because they only have 3 mana, they don't have a way to remove. Okay, they're going to do Unto Dust. It's not going to matter. And there you go. We probably actually summon the Alka here and just attack. But you see the value right there. You can see the value right there. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Lulu Zed Poppy. Okay, so it's going to be a pretty fast game, one way or the other. I don't mind this hand. I don't mind the hand. I think the Stalking Shadows is a little bit too expensive though. The Mark of the Owls is pretty nice. The Stalking Shadow is a little bit too expensive in my opinion. And the Risen... Oh, well, we got it back. I would love to have a Mistcaller. Sorry, Ravecaller. Ravecaller means that we get a lot of value. Opponent could easily have... Okay, so they're playing Inspiring Mentor. Which means that they get to have, like... I mean, a big set or something, I guess, is what they're going for. So they're going for, like, a big set. Young Witch. Okay, so they decided to buff the Young Witch, which is not a Fearsome blocker. So what if we just ignore his units? What if we just ignore his units? Unless it's Lulu. No, we can still ignore the Lulu, right? What if we do the Frenzy? We do the Risen Miss. How do we do this? Because Lulu is kind of annoying. We can technically kill the Lulu. Like if the opponent plays Lulu and doesn't do the quick attack on the Lulu, we can do the Risen the Risen Miss to be able to actually burst speed, have a blocker for Lulu. But then that puts us in a bad spot because we're still taking a ton of damage. Do we need to block this Mentor? Something tells me that we might have to. Okay, well, it doesn't matter because we're going to take the damage anyways. We're going to just die to the elusives, by the way. Yeah, I think we're just gonna die to the elusives. I think we go like this. We do the Frenzy Skittler and try to push some damage that way. We just gonna die to the elusives next turn. So we can at least try to do this and try to do the onlooker and try to just push a lot of damage. This is gonna be 6. This is gonna be 9 plus 4. So opponent's gonna be forced to block. If they have the Bright Steel, that's annoying. And then the opponent just needs to have like a Twin Discipline to be able to buff the Young Witch, to be able to actually block one of the elusives, one of the Fearsomes. And we will only be able to push 6 damage because he's always blocking that way. I think we just lose though. We just lose to the elusive next turn. Well, maybe not. Yeah, this is the twin. Okay, so opponent only has 5 mana. So I don't think opponent is able to kill us next turn just yet. We can block with the onlooker into one of his units, so it's not a big deal. And we can try to set up the Skittler plus the Rally on turn 6. Or we can just do the Skittler now. The Skittler now is also pretty good. So the Skittler now is kind of stops him from being able to kill us, which is pretty damn good. Opponent probably wants to be able to rally to be able to win. That's kind of annoying. I'm gonna do the Skittler right now. Yeah, they get the Lulu. They get the Lulu, so they're able to push a ton of damage here. But if they attack with Lulu, we're able to kill that Lulu. We definitely kill the Lulu because the Skittler is not doing anything. I think that's greedy. I guess actually he can force the lethal here, right? So he can force the lethal, but not really. He's gonna have to have the rally. So he's gonna have to have the rally because we can just block here, 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 and we live at 1. Opponent doesn't have anything at 1 HP that can stop us. So opponent's gonna have to have the rally to be able to actually win the game. Otherwise, we can do Skittler plus Golden Aegis to potentially win. Opponent does get the Barrier, which is kind of annoying. I like the Skittler here. I like the Skittler because he buffs up these guys. And he also means that the Kindred duo is probably not a good blocker. Opponent could have the Rally though, like I talked about, right? So the Rally is the really punishing part here. Because when we can't respond to his Rally just being able to kill us. Because opponent can always buff their unit. So if they have the Rally, they have it. If they don't have the Rally, we can try to rally ourselves and have a chance. If opponent has Deny, they also win. So our hope is that the opponent has like stuff like Sharpside in their hand. Because Sharpside doesn't help the units, right? Because we brought this down to 1 attack. Okay, now they could have Sharpside though. So Sharpside could be really annoying right here. Or if they have another unit. If they have another unit, they also win the game. So Sharpside, Deny. Okay, they get the Rally. So they get the Rally anyway. So I think opponent got greedy. I think opponent should just Rally right off the bat. If we had a second Mark of the House, we actually could present the lethal. So it's a little bit unfortunate. It's a little bit unfortunate that we didn't have it. But it is what it is. You know, this deck is not really that good, right? So we're just playing it for fun. And you can see why. I think the problem with the deck is that it's trying to do too much and it's not able to raise at the speed that the other decks in the current meta are able to fight. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Ezreal Caitlyn. Ezreal Caitlyn is annoying because they have a lot of ways to remove like our units, right? Mystic Shot is kind of annoying. Since Mystic Shot is annoying, do we even want to keep the Arachnoid Harbor? Maybe not. Maybe we actually want to go... this is a little bit of a worse hand, I think. A little bit of a worse hand. Are we actually going to have to, like, pass? Okay, well, we got the Miswraith. That gives us a turn 2 play, so that's not bad. Opponent could still have the Mystic Shot right here. If they don't, we get to push a free 2 damage. Yeah, there you go. So they get the first Mystic Shot, which is actually not bad, because it actually means that the next Miswraith is going to be less vulnerable, right? Unfortunately, we don't have a turn 3 play. I want to be mana efficient. And I'm going to do this. This is not a big deal because we have a lot of Fearsomes, right? I just feel like it was good for us to be mana efficient. This is vulnerable to Static Shot, which is a problem. We have two options here. We can do Mist Wraith and double Onlooker, or we can do Wraith Caller. And then next one we have 5 mana, so we can summon. I kind of like this. Kind of like doing it this way and just doing the Onlooker. Well, maybe we do the Mist Call instead. Sorry, maybe we do the Mist Wraith. I'm gonna do the Mist Wraith. I'm gonna do the Mist Wraith instead and just push the damage here. Okay, opponent's gonna just do it this way. I still think we go ahead and attack. We get punished by the Sentry. We still go ahead and attack just to get rid of the Fearsome blocker because we're gonna be able to do this next turn. Although we will have the Skittler as well, so it's not a big deal. We lose the Bali because that one was ephemeral. We get the Risen Mist as well, which is pretty good. Let's go ahead and do the Wraith Caller. And what we can do is what we can do next turn is that we can start doing the Skittler, right? Wow. 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 So this is 4. This is 3. The Skittler doesn't make sense at the moment. So the Skittler doesn't make sense at the moment because the opponent doesn't have any fearsome blockers, right? So what's the what does he matter? He also have the rally technically. Okay, well they get their first blocker, but he ends up going after this guy. So now we can go ahead and do this then, right? Let's do the Onlooker first. Let's do the Onlooker first, and then we do the Skittler in case the opponent has like a Station Archivist right here. Looks like they don't have it, so we can go ahead and do this. Get rid of the fearsome blocker. We have a full fearsome board. Opponent could technically have Mystic Shot and other stuff, and that's a little bit annoying, but it's not a big deal. For some reason, opponent decided to leave our Wraith Caller, to start a Wraith Caller, which was always a bad attack because opponent had blockers for it. And opponent really committed, wow. Opponent really committed 1 Sentry before, so I think opponent realized that they messed up. Wow, well, we got the blowout there by being able to go super wide, so yeah, GG's. Hey, welcome back everybody. So, I do think the new deck list that we updated is better than the original deck list, at least in the current meta. As you saw in some of the games, we were able to kind of just blow people out because now we're able to just go a lot more aggressive. Like it becomes kind of like a lower curve because of stuff like Onlooker and having be able to do like Risen Mist, right? And Stalking Shadows helps a lot. I keep it our hand from not being too out of resources, and it can combo with a lot of our units like Skittler and Wraith Caller. My problem is that the deck suffers from what I like to call doing too much, trying to do too much. So I don't think this deck is going to be good, at least not the current version of it, because it's trying to do too much at once, right? We have Elise and Spiders, so we have the Horror, we have Elise, we have Skittlers, right? We also have the Mist Wraiths, and we also have Hecarim, right? So it's like we're jumbling all these different win conditions into a single deck, where we're trying to play like Spider Aggro, where we're trying to play like a Mist deck, and where we're trying to play like a Hecarim win condition. Where it doesn't make sense, right, anymore. I think ideally you probably would want to cut the Hecarim stuff and kind of go more like pure like Mist Wraith, if anything, more than anything else. So yeah, I think that's my thoughts on the deck. It's kind of like, I don't think it's gonna be good enough just because of how the way the current meta works, and you also have a lot of more fearsome blockers than before. People are able to go wider than you, right? So the big advantage with this deck is that it used to be one of the few decks that can go really wide because of the Wraith Caller. That's not the case anymore, right? People have a lot of chump blockers, especially Bandle City stuff, that they can just chump block all your Hecarim ephemeral units, and they can have enough blockers for everything else that you do. So it makes it a little bit awkward because people can just match you, going one for wide. But anyways, this series was just to have fun anyways, so we wanted to experience a deck that has a lot of fun memories to me. And I hope you also enjoy kind of us doing this walk down memory lane. And as always, if you like the video, please make sure to like it below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. Tomorrow is Friday, if you're watching this on Thursday, so expect probably a reveal reaction video on Friday night. And then we'll probably do another Blast to the Past series either on Saturday or Sunday. Just let me know if you have any ideas of what deck you want us to tackle. But anyways, yeah. So if you also want to catch us more, we also stream on Twitch at Sirturmund. We stream 3 to 4 times a week. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this little blast from the past, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.